Welcome back into Cullman Today. With us this morning, Tony Glover. He is here this morning. We're going to be talking about a new program that's going to be introduced into our community, referred to as Harvest for Health. We want to learn all about that this morning. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Always glad to see you, Tony, and a wealth of information. This program is new to our community. You're just actually introducing it.
That's right, and we're in the recruitment phase now, but I've been involved in the project for about 4 years. We actually started thinking about this when I was at the Birmingham Botanical Gardens, and I was approached by a researcher at UAB who is a cancer researcher that focused her work on nutrition and exercise.
Wow.
And she approached me and said, I've got an idea to pair up master gardeners who know all about gardening with novice gardeners, those that are not currently gardening but are cancer survivors, and let's track them over a period of time and see how gardening improves both their physical function as well as their eating habits and exercise. And we did that little pilot project with 10 people, 10 master gardeners and 10 cancer survivors, and we had very, very good results. As a result of that, the UAB researcher submitted for a larger grant to expand the program into several counties.
Wonderful.
And so now we have an opportunity to have that program here in Cullman, and it's also going to be in several other communities across the state. So we're in that kind of recruitment phase. Right
Let's
now.
talk about that a little bit. There are some criteria in order to be part of this program.
That's right. Number one, they need to be a cancer survivor. Number two, they need to be 60 years old. They need to have either not currently gardened or maybe they've never vegetable gardened. It doesn't matter if they've done a little flower gardening, but we want to find people that are not currently growing their own vegetables. So that we can see whether or not this makes a difference. If they're already doing that, it's hard to measure any difference.
Sure.
You're already involved in that. So that's kind of the criteria for being involved in this particular study.
Now, how, when you say you want to make sure that they haven't already previously done this or been currently gardening, how do you follow them? How will this be? It won't be just a one season kind of thing. This is something that the progress will be kept up with, I'm sure.
The UAB researchers will actually only track data for 1 year.
1 year,
Right. The materials, the raised bed, they'll get a raised bed garden, all of that they'll get to keep, and we want them to continue that process, and we'll follow up with some surveys to see if they do continue.
I see.
We really want to know if people actually enjoy it and they continue doing this and it becomes more of a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
But of course, because of funds, when you do a research project, you have to have a beginning and end.
For sure.
So there's actually a 2-year project. The first year they will be tracked really closely to see if they follow it and what difference it makes in their life. And the second year they'll just be surveyed to see if they continued.
And of course the individual that you choose, there'll be 10 from our area, is that correct?
That's the goal, is to find 10 from our area.
So those folks actually have to do the work. You have to be able to do that work yourself.
That's right.
I mean, you're going to get them started.
You need to be physically able to do the work. Now we're not talking about a large garden. There'll be a small raised bed about 3 to 4 feet wide by about 8 feet long. So just one small raised bed. Or a few earth boxes if they don't have room for a raised bed. Just self-contained little container gardens. So it's not a large garden, but it's enough to get you started. And hopefully, even if it's a small raised bed, you can raise quite a few vegetables in just that small area. And our hope is that people will eat more fresh fruits and vegetables. And we know from past experience, if people have a vine-ripened tomato that they pluck off their own plant, they're more likely to eat it than they would be to go buy one at the grocery store.
And they're so much better.
And they're so much better.
Wow.
So, that's the goal. And we know that if you do gardening activities, that's a physical activity that's good for you. So they need to be physically able to do that. They need to be willing to do it, and they need to not be currently doing it.
Right, exactly, and not be currently C.
Right.
So we're going to take a look. We've got about a 3-minute and 12-second video from UAB.
Right.
You're going to enjoy it. I loved watching. If you love to garden, if you love to just be outside, you're going to enjoy this. So we're going to take a look at this, and then we'll explain to you how you can become part of this program.
I grew up on a large farm, but had not had a garden in all of my adult life.
Susan Rossman has a garden now. A cancer survivor, she was one of the first participants in a UAB study called Harvest for Health.
I liked the idea of growing because it was the whole circle of life. Plus, taking better care of myself was going to be a big part of that, and having some fresh vegetables.
Harvest for Health pairs cancer survivors with master gardeners from the Alabama Cooperative Extension System. The premise is simple.
If we had a vegetable garden in people's yard, would they eat more vegetables? What we found is that they not only eat more vegetables, they also get more exercise.
The study began in 2011 in Jefferson County. The master gardener and cancer survivor met each month for a year, planting and tending a fall, spring, and summer garden at the survivor's home. UAB provided the gardening supplies, raised beds or earth boxes, plants, and tools. The survivors supplied the labor and reaped the benefits.
What we found in that study is, again, the diet improved, the exercise improved, and the physical functioning improved.
And, says Rossman, growing a garden helps cancer survivors fight back against a terrifying disease.
And I think what I felt was better about the fact that, A, I'm controlling a lot more things in my life than I was before, which gave me a more positive outlook, which made me feel better about I can live to be 90, easy.
Master gardener Mary Beth Shaddix believes in the healing power of growing your own food.
I love to grow my own food, and I want to tell as many people as I can how fun it is and how rewarding it is and how tasty it is. Because I promise you, if you've grown it yourself and you thought you didn't like it, the fresh homegrown one that you try may just change your mind.
The master gardener's role is to provide expert advice and assistance and to be a cheerleader for gardening, whether you have a backyard spread or a pot on your porch.
I think there's room physically, space-wise in your life, and I also think there's room on your kitchen table. No matter what you're faced with in life, I think if you make this a part of your routine and a part of your natural curiosity about what nature can do, sure, why not? Encourage everyone to try this.
With support from the Community Foundation of Greater Birmingham and the National Cancer Institute, Harvest for Health is now recruiting cancer survivors and master gardeners from across Alabama, from Cullman to Montgomery to Mobile.
In 10 years, what I would really like is if we had a program that was sustainable on a national level.
Rossman is not part of the study any longer, but she has kept her garden going. The simple act of growing something has had a profound impact.
I think that cancer can be the worst thing that ever happened to you, or it can be a life-changing event that you do something with instead of letting it do something to you. I think if every cancer survivor that wanted to could do something like this, it could change the way they look at everything.
And of course, we hope that you learned something from that great video that we just saw, that tape. We want to talk a little bit about, you've already identified 2 individuals that will be participating in the Harvest for Health program that we'll be doing here in Cullman, but we need or could use 6 to 8 more people.
Right, we can use up to 10 total.
Okay.
You noticed in the video that there was a master gardener there with the cancer survivor. When I was in Birmingham and started the project, we brought this idea to our master gardeners and said, would you be interested in helping with this sort of a project? They were extremely enthusiastic about it.
Right.
The master gardeners are volunteers from the extension. We train them. They go through about a 50-hour course on basic gardening skills, and then they do community service.
Okay.
They're required to do a minimum of 50 hours of community service the first year and then 25 after that. And so they're enthusiastic about volunteering in their communities, or they wouldn't be in the Master Gardeners.
Right.
But when I came to the Cullman office and I said, let me tell you about a project I worked on in Jefferson County and see if you're interested, immediately we had more volunteers than we would actually need.
Right.
So the Master Gardeners are enthusiastic and they're ready to do the project.
Okay.
And they're going to be very disappointed if we don't identify people to work with.
Absolutely.
So if you meet that criteria, we really, really would appreciate you contacting us and letting us know.
Absolutely.
And hopefully get you plugged in. And we're really hoping to get some fall gardens going even this year, so right away.
Fall, absolutely. Now, the easy way to do that, of course, we're going to give you the number in just a second, but remember, you have to be a cancer survivor and also 60 years old or older and able to get down and work and do this.
And UAB, when you call the number or you email the number on the screen, UAB will give you the exact criteria and what they're going to be doing, because they do need to collect some data from you.
Sure.
But in return, you're going to get the gardening tools that you need, the raised bed like you saw in the video,
right?
And you're going to get the expert help of a master gardener that will walk you through this process for a whole year and be your private mentor.
See?
And come out and give you advice and that sort of thing.
Great. So you call the number on your screen, and if you need more information, you can call locally too and talk to Tony. Right. That number, Tony?
737-9386.
737-9386. Always good to see you. This is a great program, just one of the many programs that they offer at our Cullman County Extension Office. We'll be back with more of Cullman Today after this.